Hey guys, and welcome back to the Norfolk vlog. So guys, today we're heading to the first proper place of the series today. We're heading to Banham Zoo, I think that's how you pronounce it, Banham Zoo. So yeah, let's go. Just right here at the Banham Zoo. This here is the red-legged streamer. It's right down here. It looks to be a sort of South America area with that sign over there. La Hacienda, I think that's how you pronounce it. I got no idea. Definitely more South American area. A couple of rabbits in here. More rabbits. Guinea pigs. A couple of llamas.
Oh, I need a good haircut. I'm going to wear it.
Kune pigs. In here is Eureka, some sort of South American building, so let's go and see what is this. Thank you. There's Eureka. Over there's the red-footed tortoise, it's right about there, you guys can see it, there it is. There's one around here somewhere, but he's kind of escaped. It's over there, back in the corner there. The dwarf caiman. We have agouties, which are these things down there, roasted down there. We also have a coppery titi monkey, which are the things that you can see jumping around up there. One right there, and then one down there, and one on the floor. So that was the sort of South American house. I'd also call South American native animals, isn't it? Heading into the Penguin Cove. Does not appear to be a penguin, that is in fact a duck. Not a penguin, there are no penguins. These are the black-footed penguins. Different, of course, to the Humboldt penguins, which we've been seeing. Over there, that's the African spoonbills. Such a weird name. There are some more African spoonbills there.
I think you'd rather have a name like Fred. Oh, is he going back on?
For his early morning swim.
He's got to climb up again.
I think he's
Making him work for his water.
yeah.
Oh, it stops.
There's nobody in. Quiet. He's had to go down the hill and up there.
Come on, look how close he is. Pretty good in the water.
Yeah.
Look how close he is.
See you later, Mr. Penguin. He's going in now.
And penguins fly.
No.
What do you mean? Of course penguins can fly.
Well done. Next.
Next.
Oh, was it press it yet?
Oh, well done, William.
Restart.
Oh,
Right,
you do, William.
No.
Well, no, because not
How many
18.
different species are there?
No, there's not. Ah, that's
should read the boards.
I tried to throw him off.
Are penguins found in the Arctic?
Well, then you were correct.
Antarctic.
I read them.
The black-footed penguin is the only penguin that breeds in Africa. I think it's true.
No, it is correct. Well done.
How do penguins get rid of the salt in the water?
Remember,
They swallow.
Before you press it,
No,
remember.
you should know this.
Sneeze, I think.
Orange, no.
Put pink in it.
How many feathers
What do
can
you
a
think?
have per centimetre square?
I think it's...
Well done, you're correct.
How many eggs does a bucket penguin lay?
How many feathers can a penguin
5 to 8 or none?
have per centimetre
That I don't know.
squared?
I feel like I'm doing Jesus.
You know.
What is it?
I'm guessing 46.
Okay.
Well
Hey,
done.
you're correct, well done.
I mean, that wasn't a guess, I knew
How
that.
many eggs did black-footed penguins lay?
Uh,
1 to 2.
1 to 2? What,
I don't know.
1 to 2?
Oh well, William, you guessed all these.
What is a body penguin?
Baby.
A baby.
It's an A.
I'm gonna
So I think we should go for either a poult or a chick.
I'm going with a port.
Go on then.
Oh, you got them all wrong. Almost all right, William.
Chick.
Not him.
It's a chick.
Next.
Well
Ah.
done.
Before I forget, we do like experiences, so your examples, people get services, come in and do a little bit of training and aim it.
So the first talk we're going to is going to be the meerkat otters talk. There are the otters.
Let's go down.
Is it hungry?
Right, so good morning guys, welcome to possibly the noisiest enclosure first thing this morning at Banham Zoo. Welcome to the otter enclosure. My name's Charlie, I get to introduce you to our little otter family while they have a little bit of a snack this morning. So in our otter family, you've got Mum and Dad, which is Sam and Tilly. You've got their son, who's just over on this side, who was born last year. And then we have their 2 little twins that were born back in May. Now despite all the screaming, all the shouting before I came over, but they do try their very, very hardest to convince you guys that they are starving and they are wasting away. They like it. But otters are very, very clever, and they do spend over 5 hours in the day foraging around for food, so this is something we try and encourage as well. So with some of their other feeds, we will hide their food underneath the rocks and the logs, and we've even got tubes and balls we can hide it inside as well. That way the otters can work a little bit higher to get their snacks out, and it keeps them entertained for ages. Now this is not the only pet trade, there's also fur trade and also fishing trade as well. So helping them out in any way, shape or form is absolutely awesome. We actually only had 2 little meerkats. We had Rosie and we had Bruce. We still have Rosie and Bruce, but they are just surrounded by their children. They've had a very busy couple of years. To try and make sure that doesn't happen, meerkats play their food first, then they eat it. It works so well though that a meerkat does this with whatever they eat. Be it a deadly and dangerous scorpion, or be it a deadly piece of pepper. You get the same treatment every single time. Cats is if you can have one as a pet. Everyone thinks they're cute, thinks they're cuddly, thinks they're downright adorable. They're not like that. They've got needle sharp teeth, so being bitten by one of these guys is like having your hand run over by a sewing machine. They are also ridiculously destructive. My manager hand-reared 2 meerkats, and she has said it's the one animal that is never ever allowed back in her house.
So that was the meerkat and otter talk. There's a red panda, you can't see very well, but it's in that tree over there. There are the flamingos. So now heading into the lemur encounter, which is very similar to the one we did at Dudley Zoo. Let's go. It's a red ruffed lemur. Oh yeah, the main attraction, the ring-tailed lemurs. Not sure what they're doing. A couple of the red ruffed lemurs over there. Can't see very well, but they are there. That was the lemur encounter, guys. Now I head to the bird of prey talk, which is the next one, which is in about half an hour. So, hey guys.
A few birds for you, and at the end we're going to
show you something that you're going to really like, and that's our bald eagle. We're going to let him have a fly around today. Now, when you come to the shows, hands up for me if you've been to a show before. Loads of you. Welcome back, guys. Nice to see you. Those of you, hello. We have got Candy and Floss. Candy and Floss together making candy floss. And they are our Australian cockatoos. Yeah. And they're going to go over and they're going to fly around with Harry today because quite often they want to stay quite close to the handlers. So Harry's going to take them out so they'll do a little bit more flying. If not, they're just going to kind of circle around me. Look a little bit more like Candy and Floss here. We might even like them a little bit more because they're beautiful. Grains and cereal crops. And out in Australia they're farming into crops of barley, of wheat. And along comes that big flock of galahs. And they eat it all down. So it's a fan favourite here at the zoo. And just a little reminder to stay seated for us again, because this is the one that gets very close. So close in fact, you might even feel him on top of your head. This is Yogi, and Yogi is our great grey owl. Now Yogi isn't a native species of owl. He's not a species of owl you'll find here. He's like an owl that's used to the cold in the heat. But Yogi here is covered in feathers. Now those feathers are great insulators. They help him to keep warm, but they also help him to keep cool. So they do a great job of keeping him nice and cool or warm depending on the climate. But he copes very well in the heat, even better than we do. Now you can see that he would stick out, wouldn't he, here in the UK if we had food and to actually don't want to heat you. I'll go back up here. On Wednesday, battling the breeze, is our beautiful harrier hawk. Now the African harrier hawk looks like a big bird. That broad wingspan, outstretched, is huge. But this bird only weighs 800 grams, less than a bag of sugar. That means she gets the greatest of lift. But flying, again, is not the most fun because it uses a lot of energy. So when you're out in Africa, one of the most common places you will see a harrier hawk is on a giant cliff face. Now we're in Norfolk, the flattest place ever. We have to build a small rockery to show you. And what she'll do, she'll race through the cliff face looking for snakes and lizards that are basking in the hot African sun. She also knows in the cracks of the rocks you'll often find small insects that are hiding away from danger. Now, Yogi was flying out here and there's been food in the rocks all this time. But he wasn't clever enough to go and look for it. Now we're going to bring him up close, just so you guys can get a really good look at him. And that's because I'm going to give you a disclaimer now, and it says, myself, Harry, Dolly, we have no idea what is about to happen. Yeah, because the way in which we fly our eagle, if you've not seen it before, is we bring him out onto our arena, and we let him go. And we hope he comes back. And that's what we're going to do today into the Norfolk sky. Hope you guys are as excited about seeing him fly as we are today. So I'm going to come over here so I'm not in anybody's way. Here he is, so he's ready to go. Ladies and gentlemen, the flight of the bald eagle. There it is. That was it. Thanks for coming. Have a good day. Harry's calling him in, so keep your eyes up here, because he's going to appear when you see him. Point him out, guys. Here he comes. He's tucked his wings back. He's coming in, but he's got to slow down for a landing. There you go. The eagle has landed. There you go, guys. Take your way down for me, darling. Tablet and read you a few of the statistics from Sam's flight today. Not sure if they're going to be that exciting, but we'll have a little look. Now, maybe not that exciting, but let's have a little look. What has he done today? If we can read it. So, Sam travelled in total 3.2 miles in his flight today. He did 48 miles per hour on his stoop down to the glove, and he went 210 foot high.
So she is still very young, and as she comes up nice and close, you may notice that her feet aren't yellow, but they're starting to turn yellow. And that's a sign that she's maturing, and soon she'll have some new feathers coming in, and she'll become a little bit swung lure. And a swung lure is a piece of string with some rubber on the end. That's it. And Quinn is trained to chase that piece of rubber. She's going to try and catch it, and Sophie's job today is to get that lure out of the way of the falcon's feet at the last second. So in order for Quinn to fly, we do have to remove the hood just like that. So Quinn can now see exactly where she is, and she can now take flight when she feels comfortable. She may have to go through a few pre-flight checks, but she's off already. There she goes, taken to the sky, and you can see those lovely knife-shaped wings as she had a little glide around there. Now you can see she's always looking around, lightening the load a little bit there, because it's always easier to fly if you haven't got full belly. But the lure comes out and she's straight in to try and catch it. So Sophie has a very difficult job, and Quinn there, top of their feathers, the top of the bird, will be the colour of the floor. So peregrine falcons are that lovely slate blue colour, and that's because a lot of peregrine falcons hunt in urban areas. It's just sitting on that post. But this is Hooch, and Hooch is our European eagle owl. He is the biggest species of owl in the world, and he really is an amazing bird. You can see now that he's sitting on that post, he is incredibly well camouflaged. Now camouflage is very important to Hooch because he relies on it in order to has no idea he's there. Because of that, dinner will walk right underneath him. And when it does, he can then stoop down and catch his dinner just like that. But we're going to fly him very low over your heads. Alright? So I need everyone to sit down on their chairs and to stay very, very still. Because he is going to be coming inches above your head, and hopefully we may get some free haircuts if you're lucky. Alright, so there he goes, he's going to go and see Dolly. There we go, incredibly low. If you're being hunted by Hooch, you're perfectly safe, you've got absolutely nothing to worry about. How many times have we done this? 5 years we've been doing this. Where did it go? I didn't even see where it went. Oh, I can see it. Right, take two. If dinner moves and he's feeling brave, he'll spot it, he'll run over to it, and then he'll eat it. Just... Oh, door shut. There they go. They really do look amazing when they take off into the sky. Now the reason I asked you who thought they were ugly and disgusting is because it's the most common thing we hear about our vultures. When people are getting the stamp and when they come down and just have a look, food up into lovely little bite-sized chunks and then wipe their mouth when they're done, they bury their entire head and neck within the carcass. Which means they get absolutely covered in blood, guts and lots of other nasty things. So if they had a face full of feathers, all of those feathers would get matted together and they'd be in quite a sticky situation. That's how important these birds are. They're like the bin men of the wild. They clean up all of those carcasses, they destroy every germ, bacteria and disease they eat, and they make the wild much cleaner and safer for every other animal out there in the wild. So they have a massive job, but again, a lot of people don't realise that. They just think they're these ugly birds, so they don't learn anything about them. There was a report coming from Botswana of an elephant carcass that was killed and poached and then laced with poison. At that carcass alone, there was 534 dead vultures. At one carcass. One elephant, 534 dead vultures. Now what makes it worse is if you have a look in that far right hand aviary, on the low branch you may be able to notice a bird sitting on the end of it on the far right hand side. But we really just want to tell you and show you just how important these birds are, because we know that so many people think they're just ugly and disgusting, but they're not. They're incredibly important and they need as much support as possible. If you would like to help these vultures out a little bit, Dolly's selling wristbands at the end of today's display, and the £1 that goes into that for the wristband goes to the Zoological Society of East Anglia's Conservation Fund.
That was the little birds of prey show. It's a shame there was not more from the eagle, but it's still pretty cool either way. So now I'm going to go and try and get onto the train, and then we're going to try and do the giraffe show. So I'll show you guys that now. Here's the train station.
And our next feature, number 15, which is our giraffe. Thank you very much.
The one that's not unlocked.
This one. We have a male called Barbie and a female called Belle. They do both have the blue eyes, but males get black. Kinds are gelato baboons. Their favourite food to eat is grass, makes up the 5 coppery TT monkeys. They do like to live in these family groups, dwarf, caiman, the smallest species of crocodilian in the world. When they get they're called Mick and Shane, and also to our family of red kangaroos. You've got Ian just lying out on the grass there. And both these species are really good at jumping 3 times their own weight up the side of a mountain. Ricky's one of the oldest animals here at the zoo. He is 35 years old. Next to us then, towards the back of the enclosure, you'll find our spider monkeys. They're for all the animals here at the zoo. So a huge thank you to all of you, and I really hope you enjoy the rest of your afternoon.
So now onto the giraffe feeding and talk. Where on earth are we going? Or where are we? Oh, outside, okay.
So good afternoon everybody, welcome to our giraffe house. My name's Charlie. I get to introduce you to our gorgeous group of giraffes. Well, they slowly but surely come over and join us for a bit of a snack. So a group of giraffe is actually known as a tower, which I think is really, really fitting. In our tower of giraffe, we have got one beautiful, very, very picky eater boy, which is this one over here. This is Mr. Maxwell, who will probably spit out everything I offer him. There we go, we do like carrots. The rest of them are our lovely ladies. So just over here, this is Maxwell's mum. This is the gorgeous Aileen. Just coming up as well, we have Mahiri. Over on this side, we have Fiona. And this little one over here, this is Mahiri's daughter. This is little Zuri. Now, if Maxwell does decide that my bucket is not worth his time today, and he's going to go off and do his own giraffe thing, there really is no need to worry. You see, you guys are looking at one of the most greediest animals in the world, let alone the zoo. These guys eat for between 12 to 20 hours of the giraffe a day. I can pretty much guarantee that they will be eating. Out in the wild, so out in Africa, giraffes have been seen to eat over 100 different types of plants. Acacia trees, as they have got humongous tongues. Now these tongues may look massive, but the giraffe are actually being a little bit lazy today, and they're only showing you the tip of their tongues. You see, giraffe tongues are about 18 inches long.
So that was the giraffe feeding. There's also some zebras there as well. Now we're going to head and look at some animals. And at the back there, over there, is the spider monkey. Over here is the simiac. I don't know if you can see it at all. Yeah, it's not out. Province of the snow cat. Now, where is he? There he is. I don't know if you can see it. Right there. There's an ocelot in there, I can see it very well. There's an ocelot. There's a snowy owl, just chilling there, you know, as you do. Camels. Yep. There's a cheetah, just chucks, you know. Here's a little donkey. There you go, got some Mongolian sheep. So there's supposed to be a Sri Lankan leopard in it somewhere, but I genuinely cannot see it anywhere, which is rather annoying. But I'll keep on looking. If I do find anything else, I will show you it. Just a casual red kangaroo just chilling there in the sun like everything else today. Everything else today has been chilling in the sun. There's some other vultures up closer, I guess. Some more over here. Some more there. Now I've seen pretty much every animal here, and now we're going to go on to the zoo show, so see you guys back in a minute. We've got an iguana in there. Over there's a genet.
I'm going to introduce you to all of the animals for this display. Now, just out of interest, hands up if you've seen an amazing animals display before. Yeah, a few hands. He's a rat, and he's going to come nice and close into the audience. Now, Ben here, he is a Norwegian brown rat. But he's grey, yeah. Yeah, he's called a brown rat, but he's grey. In our rubbish dumps. But rats are actually much cleaner than all of us. And I can prove it very quickly. Hands up if you had a shower before you came to the zoo. Yeah, it's a lack of hands. Yeah. Ben here has probably already had at least 16 full body washes before coming out for this show. Yeah. So he cleans himself all the time. He is an incredibly clean animal. And as soon as he's done with the show, he'll go back home and he'll probably clean himself a good few more times. Now, I said with Ben that he travelled from Asia to Norway, Norway to the UK, and that's how they got across the world. The way they did that is aboard boats. Yeah, this is one I prepared earlier. And what we're going to do is we're going to demonstrate exactly how Ben here travelled the world and spread to country to country. Now, he doesn't do it alone. He likes to travel with his wife. This is Ben, and this is Mrs. Ben. Husband and wife, and what I'm going to do with these two, I'm going to put them on a lovely, long, romantic cruise across the ocean. Now, when they're on a lovely, long, romantic cruise, they do what rats do best. So by the time they reach a new country, there's loads of them. And then they can run up, and this is how they populate country in country, and how they spread so quickly out there in the wild. Look at them go. There we are. Well done to Ben, our Norwegian brown rat, and his family there. And Eritrea. This is Misi, and Misi is a white-cheeked tourougo. Now she's going to fly over this part of the audience. Alright, if you don't like flying birds, close your eyes, because then you don't know what's going on. And you won't see her fly. But she looks like a very small green bird there, and a lot of people have called her boring before. But when she takes off and when she flies, you'll realise that she has some beautiful wings. Within their body, and they use them as a defence mechanism. So if anything eats them, they get poisoned. It's not a very good defence mechanism because they have to be eaten first, but at least they get a little bit of payback if anything tries to eat them. Now, when she's flying up here, you'll notice that she has to pump her wings. Ethiopia and Eritrea, they can be quite closely packed in. And if they're packed in too tightly, she won't be able to spread her wings and fly. So what she'll have to do is she'll have to hop around from branch to branch and try and get around that way. Do you want to try one more, Macy? Now the problem, he's incredibly strong. He's like a mini bulldozer. He can move these logs out of the way with ease, and he can find whatever food is hiding underneath them. Now he'll be found out there in places like Argentina and Uruguay, and he'll be moving logs around with that incredibly powerful head and legs. And also he's got very powerful claws, so if there is a rotten log, he can go over to it. He can use those claws to really break at the bark and expose lots of bugs and grubs. Now he is an amazing animal, we love him around here. And we're going to bring him down to the front and show you some very cool behaviours with Pedro. Now most of you have probably heard of armadillos before, but he's will run very quickly. And then he will disappear down a burrow. Just like that. Yeah, and now he's nice and safe. And that's how they go around and then get to safety. Not good enough, should we try that again then? Should we head off this way? This way? And thank you to Pedro, our live camera armadillo. He's coming back to try and get my pouch again. So, next animal we're going to introduce you to is Rodney's worst nightmare. We're going to introduce you to a terror bird. Terror birds used to roam the world millions of years ago. They're 6+ foot tall birds that used to go around killing horses. Yeah. This is the last descendant of a terror bird. Yeah. This is Sylvia. Sylvia's not quite 10 foot tall and definitely couldn't handle a horse anymore. She is a red-legged Serena, and they are found out there in the pampas grasslands of South America. So when she goes behind the grasses like this, you can see she's very well camouflaged in, even though she's got those lovely long, bright orange legs. Those long legs are very useful. If dinner's above the grass, you can jump up, get yourself a quick snack. And also, if she sees a snake or a lizard, she can chase after it with those long legs as well. And again, she's trying to deal as much damage as possible to this snake. There we go, another massive slam on the floor. Another huge one. She's trying to make sure that all the bones are broken, because she has to slam and eat that snake whole. There we go, another huge one. One more, Sylv. There we go, well done. Now we're going to feed her over there because we need to quickly get to Rodney. Hopefully he's got enough life left in him, because he does need to be killed again tomorrow. That he might say hello back. We're going to introduce you to one of our fans' favourite animals, Peanuts. And Peanuts is coming in behind you. He's been watching the show the entire time. Now if he walks above your head, look up, but don't open your mouth. Just a little warning, because sometimes he doesn't go to the toilet before he comes out. So this is Peanuts. He is our blue and yellow macaw, and he can be found out there in the rainforest of Brazil. Now we'll see if we can get you to do a lovely little bit of flying then. Now that behaviour that you just saw, that flying there, that's something that these birds can't actually do that much out there in the wild. And that's because the trees in the rainforest of Brazil are so closely packed together that Peanuts can't open his wings. Shall we show him your wings? Look at them. So the trees are so close together that he can't actually spread those wings and fly around. And we're going to pop that on that branch. He knows where he's going. He knows the show better than I do. So we're going to pop this up here, and now he's going to use his beak and feet together to shuffle all the way down his throat. And that's how they climb around out there in the wild. He can also hold on upside down with one foot. We can add a bit of breeze if we want to. And he can still hold on perfectly well. They are incredible climbers out there in the wild. They are amazing birds. Now a lot of people, they see us with Peanuts and they think he's incredible and they want to take him home. And a lot of people always want a parrot as a pet because they're so colourful and they're so pretty. But they are very, very difficult pets to keep. And the reason for that is because they are incredibly intelligent. Peanuts here has the intelligence of a 2 to 3-year-old child. So they can do great problem solving, they're great at tearing your furniture apart, they're not so good at putting it back together. So they really don't make the best pets because they require so much attention. And out there in the wild, they find a partner and they bond for life. So if you buy yourself a macaw and it bonds with you, every time you leave, it's going to try and call you back with the macaw love call. Sounds fine. Shush, shush, I'm back now, you're fine, and pile loads of food in. All that's done is reinforce him, and he's going to shout louder and for longer next time. But I have just realised I've got no milk, so I'm going to go to the shop. I'll be about 20 minutes. The whole 20 minutes? Peanuts! Your macaw is going to be screaming at the top of their lungs trying to call you back. We're on the prices right now. So we're going to pop this up here. You missed. Now Peanuts is going to come down and he's going to show you how he would climb down this very, very thin branch. And this just shows how amazing they are at climbing. So watch him now as he uses his beak and feet to climb down. Just give him a minute. Now remember I said he had the intelligence of a 2 to 3-year-old child? He knows that he's not going to waste all that energy climbing down that very thin vine when there's nothing at the bottom. So this time, I'm going to put Peanut there. And now, he has a reason to climb all the way to the bottom. So watch him now, because he's going to climb all the way to the bottom and enjoy himself. Don't laugh, he's cheating. There's young children in here. And that again just shows how clever Peanuts really is. He knows it's impossible to climb to the bottom of that, but he knows he can use his beak and his feet to very easily pull it straight up to his beak. Like I said, he's got that intelligence of a 2 to 3-year-old child, and they can live well over 80 years. So if you ever do consider one as a pet, just think, imagine having a 3-year-old child for over 80 years. How blue and yellow, of course. Now, he did an incredible job, and he was the last animal in today's display. So thank you very much for coming. We do have wristbands for sale at the end of this show, and every pound that goes into this bucket for a wristband goes to the Zoological Society of East Anglia's Conservation Fund.
So that was the amazing animal show, guys. We are now heading on to one last one of the day, which is going to be the cheetah show, followed by the tiger show. Hopefully get both of those for you guys, and I'll see you after that. Goodbye.
To our cheetah enclosure. So I get to tell you a bit about our lovely cheetahs here while I give them a bit of a snack. So with me just here is Shaka. He is our lovely male cheetah. And then heading over on the other side is Tana, and she is our female. So as I said, I'm giving them a bit of a snack right now, but actually out in the wild, cheetahs do feed mainly on gazelle. Although a group of wild cheetahs might work together to take down some larger prey, such as a wildebeest, but actually cheetahs do very much rely on their speed in order to take down their prey. Adaptations to help them run this fast, one of which is their lovely tail. So a tail acts a bit like a rudder on a boat. It helps to steer them, it helps keep them balanced and stable when they're running. It even helps them to turn in mid-air. So that might sound a bit strange, like why on earth would a cheetah need to turn in mid-air? But actually, when a cheetah is running at its full speed, its stride can be, sorry Shaka, that was a bad throw. Its stride can be between 7 and 10 metres long. So if you think you're chasing some prey and your prey makes a sharp turn, but your feet aren't touching the ground for another 10 metres, you want to be able to turn as well. So it's a really, really useful ability for our cheetahs to make sure that they can keep up with their prey. But cheetahs also actually have semi-non-retractable claws. So this basically means their claws will never retract the whole way in. So when they pace along the fence, you can probably spot their claws just sticking out there. If Shaka wants to come for a pace round the fence, sometimes he's quite good at strolling around with me. And then he gets too quick and no one can see his claws anyway. But it's a bit like wearing football boots with spikes or running... No? I've just combined the two. Football boots with studs or running spikes all the time. So our cheetahs will always have traction and grip if they ever want to sprint off at an absolute moment's notice. The cheetah would probably let the lion, because actually if a cheetah got injured in a fight and couldn't run at its full speed, then it may well struggle to catch its food. So it's just not worth it for our cheetahs. This has actually been really useful knowledge in cheetah conservation. So one of the threats to cheetahs, Tana, come on. One of the threats to cheetahs is that cheetahs will sometimes go after the farmer's livestock. And sadly, because the farmers want to protect their livestock, it does mean that they try to persecute the cheetahs. They might try to kill the cheetahs. Will be Shaka's new girlfriend. So keeping our fingers crossed, they seem to be getting on okay. I mean, you see them have a little bit food's about, so it's always like that when there's food around. But yeah, we're just keeping our fingers crossed, seeing how things go, and hopefully one day there might be a cub on the way, but we'll just see. So I shall leave it there, but thank you very much for listening. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. The tiger feeding talk will be at 4:30, so that's just under 10 minutes. That's literally straight that way. But if anyone does have any questions, feel free to ask me and I will do my very best to answer them. But otherwise, thank you very much for listening.
Tiger territory, where you'd find, you guessed it, the tigers. Touch over there. That's tiger.
after our big cats at the zoo, and 2 of our guests which are going to help us feed our beautiful tiger today. So we have got Sveta, our female Amur tiger. If anyone's been here in the last 10 years or so, you might know we actually had a male tiger called Kuzma. Now Kuzma and Sveta are both part of the breeding programme, but Kuzma was a bit too good at doing his job at the breeding programme. So because of this, he's gone to another zoo to do his job there. He is on a 1-year loan, and as soon as he's finished doing his job at that zoo, he'll be coming straight back to us here at Banham Zoo. So we have got our beautiful Sveta while we're doing this instead. So she is an Amur tiger, as I said. They are the world's largest species of cat. So Sveta, unfortunately, is not a record breaker, but the record breaker is 3 metres long and weighing. Now, a cat this size really has an appetite to match it. So out in the wild of northern China and Russia, where you'd find these guys, they'll eat pretty much anything. Now their favourite food is wild deer and wild boar, but they're not that fussy. They'll quite happily eat pretty much anything. Now, the one problem is they're never quite sure where that next meal is going to come from. So these guys will pretty much scoff themselves in one go. So if Sveta was to make a kill, she can eat up to 40 kilos of meat in one sitting. Thanks to conservation efforts and zoos like ourselves, we really have helped these guys, and hopefully we can continue to do in the years to come. Now if you do have any questions, please feel free to come over and ask, and I'll do my best to answer them for you. If not, I really hope you enjoy the rest of your day here at the zoo, and thank you very much for joining us at Tiger Territory.
So that was the tiger and the tutor feeding. Now guys, can check on the sloth, and after that we'll be done here at Banham Zoo. Yeah, the sloths are out. Oh, moving.
Calm down.
I'm gonna look for mommy.
No, let's stay here.
He's laid in his food.
He's a bit late, laying in his food.
His face stuffed in the food. Yeah, his face stuffed in the food. That one's on the move.
What are you doing?
So we were at 5.
Oh.
You know what, this is the best day. So quite one. It's only like an acre or two. It's tiny. But we got to see the Alpine.
No way.
Yeah, so we got there
Out.
We went for the last 2 hours of the day, and we knew that we'd heard that they said that they feed the margate and the civet just after 4 o'clock. So yeah, and the civet came out.
Go through here, actually,
you know, incorporate it into something else in that area.
what sort of stuff are you doing here?
General administration.
Yeah, I was going right up to see that's where they would, someone said earlier that they hide away and then we can't see them.
He's had enough now. You might as well.
I
let's come for some food. So after a bit of Sloth, guys, we are now heading out of Banham, so we are finished here for today. Everything's on the budget, I'm running out of storage on this camera, but it's time to go home. That's it for the Banham Zoo vlog today, guys. Hope you did enjoy, and I'll see you all tomorrow.